This is Tess, and I am Noni. And
Namaste.
namaste.
Thank you for joining us today. We're so glad that you did. And thank you to Connor and to Engage for hosting us.
Yes.
We really appreciate that. We know it's not been easy. We're learning. Before we begin today's class, please take a second to put cell phones and watches on silent mode and also grab a piece of paper. Any kind of paper you need. Take a moment, grab one. It can have writing on it. It can be blank. It can have lines. It might not. It can be in a book. Don't tear it out. Just bring the book. It could be a magazine. It could be a bill. Any kind of paper will do. And if you don't have paper, even a tissue would do. Okay?
And
if you don't have a tissue, imagine a piece of paper when we get to the exercise.
And you don't need a pencil or a pen.
Right. That's not a writing. There'll be no test.
No.
Today's meditation is about a concept that's kind of foreign to most Westerners. So we understand it may be a little difficult in the beginning, but it gets easier as we go, and we have a fun exercise to really make it concrete. Yes. So the topic is interbeing. Interbeing is a term coined by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's also known as non-duality. It's also known as Advaita in Indian philosophy. And in current American culture, it's known as reciprocity, thanks to Robin Wall Kimmerer, the author of Braiding Sweetgrass. Mm-hmm. But to most colonial folks, it's a difficult topic to get. But today we're going to do interbeing. And we've spoken about interbeing before. You may remember some time ago in the class, we said, what if we were all mistaken? All of us, all our lives, totally mistaken. And we are not separate, distinct beings, but rather that we're all part of one great super being, so to speak. We're all connected in an underlying way. It might shock you to know that a great deal of the people in the world believe that we are not separate beings. This exercise and meditation is based primarily on the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh.
Also known
as Thai. His students call him Thai. And Thai was a Zen master and a mindfulness master. And he coined the phrase interbeing. And as he so beautifully put it, we are all leaves of the same tree, waves of the same sea. But people like us of European descent have adopted culturally the thought habit that every creature is separate and that humans are superior to all of them. Native American peoples, for example, see the world and its creatures very differently than we do, right? We call humans he or she, and we call everybody else, everything else, it. The only things that get the he or she are humans. That's because in our thinking, we are above all the other creatures, right? And they're ours to do with as we want. We think of things as property.
Yes.
Even living things like animals, they're called it.
Unless it's a pet.
Well, yeah, we tend to humanize them and do that. But if it's an outside animal, it ran into my car.
Yeah, shame on it.
Yeah. But native peoples in North America call everything he or she. Everything has a life, a spirit, and certain rights.
Mhm.
And we humans have some responsibilities to these living creatures. And by the way, to Native Americans, rocks, rivers, and clouds, they are living things and they are sacred. And the same kind of thinking applies in indigenous cultures in much of Asia, Africa,
Mhm.
and South and Central America. And in the 4,000-year-old Vedas, all of creation is said to be imbued with the divine light of the Creator.
Everything. Everyone.
Everything, just like in Native American thought,
Mhm.
a rock, a mountain, a river.
The stars.
Every part of creation, and including us, is imbued with a tiny spark of the great effulgent light of God.
And this was 4,000 or maybe even 4,000
Yeah,
years
that's
ago.
according to the Vedas, 4,000 years ago. So it's a new concept to us, but it's not a new concept,
Yeah.
right? So in this way of thinking, we're not separate and above other things or beings, right? But we live in relation to, in reciprocity with all other things, because our fates are entwined. I depend on you, you depend on me. What I do affects you, what you do affects me.
We need the air, we need the water.
Yes. Thich Nhat Hanh would say that we inter-are with all other things. Kai says, at first, it seems as though things exist outside of one another. After all, the sun is not the moon. This galaxy is not that galaxy. You are outside of me. The Father is outside of the Son. But looking deeply, and looking deeply is a process that Tai refers to again and again. Look deeply into the nature of everything to understand everything. So, looking deeply, we can see that all things are interwoven. We can't take the rain out of the flower. We can't take the oxygen out of the tree. We can't take the Father out of the Son, nor can we take the Son out of the Father. We can't take anything out of anything else. We are the mountains and the rivers. We are the sun and the stars. Everything is, end quote. So these ideas of unity and interbeing and non-duality are ancient. After all, one of the very definitions of yoga is unity. So you can imagine how surprised I was in the early 1980s when my death and taxes professor, we called her Batty Patty.
That's terrible.
Well, a death and taxes professor told our class, you must attend a guest lecture at SU by David Bohm. In 1982, David Bohm was the biggest news in science. He is a quantum physicist, and he came up with the theory of the implicate and explicate order of the universe. And we were told we had to go to this lecture. Had nothing to do with why we were in her class, but okay, I thought, curious, I'll go. So I sat on this lecture, and Professor Bohm was presenting his new earth-shattering theory of the implicate and explicate order of the universe. And he posed the theory that the entire universe is based on an underlying unity or wholeness. That would be the implicate order or the unmanifest. And he said that what we observe physically is the manifest, right? The explicate order, as he put it.
That's you encounter
What we
in
see,
God.
everything
Yes.
that we see. Yeah, the physical. He says, though it all seems separate, underneath all of these things, under the surface, there is a great unity, a wholeness, and an interdependence, interbeing, if you will. So in 1982, Bohm became world famous for discovering what the sages of yoga wrote about 4,000 years ago. Go figure. That's how big an idea it was to the West when it finally hit. But even the 13th century poet Saint Rumi knew what Bohm discovered when Rumi wrote, "You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." And the sage Shankara from 800 AD founded the yogic school called Advaita Vedanta. Advaita means not two, not separate,
Just
one.
one.
In other words, creation seems to be a collection of separate things, separate beings, and separate objects. But underneath it all, there is unity. There is a wholeness, a dharma, and a truth.
Yes. So now we'll be demonstrating interbeing with an exercise that is in Thich Nhat Hanh's wonderful book called Peace is Every Step. So the piece of paper that we had you bring to class or that you've just retrieved from your side table, it can just be a paper in a book. Look at that paper. We're going to look at it and see what's inside of it. We ask that you use your imagination for this exercise. Go ahead, examine that piece of paper. Look at whichever side you like, lined or unlined. See it for what it is. Listen for its story. Who is this paper? What is in this paper? So now we're going to be doing an exercise which Thich Nhat Hanh wrote. Thai says, if you are a poet, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating in this sheet of paper. Without a cloud, there would be no rain. Without rain, the trees can't grow. And without trees, we cannot make paper. This cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud's not there, the sheet of paper cannot be there either. So we can say that the cloud and the paper are. Their fates are intertwined.
Now, if we look even further into this sheet of paper, even more deeply, we can see the sunshine in it. Without sunshine, the forest cannot grow. In fact, nothing can grow without sunshine. And so we know that the sunshine is also there in this sheet of paper. The paper and the sunshine are. Now, if we continue to look, we can very closely, we can see the logger who cut the tree and delivered it to the mill to be transformed into paper. And looking even more deeply into this paper, we can see wheat. Because, yes, because we know that the logger cannot exist without his daily bread. And therefore, the wheat that became his bread is also in this sheet of paper.
Mm.
And the logger's father and mother are in it too. When we look in this way, we see that without all of these things, this sheet of paper cannot exist.
So if we look even more deeply, we can see ourselves in this sheet of paper. This is not difficult to see because when we look at a sheet of paper, it is part of our perception. Your mind is in that paper, and mine is awesome. We see it, it's part of our perception. So we can say that everything is in here with this sheet of paper. We cannot point to one thing and say, it's not in there. Instead, time, space, the earth, the rain, the minerals in the soil, the sunshine, the cloud, the river, the heat, everything coexists with this sheet of paper. In fact, to be, to exist, is to interbe with everything else. We can't just be by ourselves alone. We have to interbe with every other thing, every other person. We have to live in reciprocity with every other thing. This sheet of paper is because everything else is.
Now, Ty goes on to say, suppose we were to try to return one of the elements to its source. Suppose we were to try to return the sunshine to the sun. If we did that, do you suppose that this sheet of paper would even be possible?
No.
No. Without sunshine, nothing can be. And if we were to return the logger to his mother, then we have no sheet of paper either. The fact is that this sheet of paper is made up of only non-paper elements. And if we return these non-paper elements to their sources, then there can be no paper at all. Without non-paper elements like the mind and the logger, the sunshine, and so on, there would be no paper. As thin as this sheet of paper is, it contains the entire universe within it. This ends Ty's exercise, a quote. Now we're going to take Ty's example of the paper just a little bit further. We can say that what is true for the paper must be true for us. On a cellular level, it is true that we are made of only non-human elements. We consist of stardust, minerals, and a little bit of everything in the universe. And just as we cannot take the sun out of the paper, we can't take any of these elements out of you or me. Everything in the universe exists within us. And everything in us exists within the universe. Our bones are literally made of ancient stardust.
Pretty amazing.
I know. And as astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson said, we are stardust that has attained consciousness. And now, meditation.
So you can take a nice, comfortable, upright meditation posture and place your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, unless you're younger than I am and can sit cross-legged on a cushion on the floor. You can feel the grounding support of the chair and the floor beneath you, or your cushion and the floor beneath you. Gently straighten your spine upwards. Tuck your chin in just a wee bit, and this will help to slightly elongate the back of your neck, and the top of your head, the crown of your head, will reach toward the ceiling. Do this gently. Don't force anything. Now gently broaden your chest. Relax your shoulders. Let your arms come straight down. This helps to open your heart chakra. Remember, don't force anything. Be comfortable while you meditate, but try to keep your spine as straight as possible. And now smile. A great big, beautiful smile. You can do it. Go ahead. Relax your facial muscles. Let your jaw completely relax. Allow your tongue to slightly rest on the floor of your mouth. Please close your eyes if you haven't done so already, and let your eyelids become soft and gentle. Focus on your breath. Feel the breath as it moves in through your nose and your throat and your chest. And then as it moves out of your chest and your throat and your nose. Take a deep breath in. And then let it out slowly. Take another nice deep breath in. And let it out fully and slowly. And once more, a deep breath in and a long breath out. And now, please return to your normal rate of breathing. Please scan your body for any part that feels restless or tense or has pain, and then breathe peacefulness, tranquility, love to those tense, painful, or restless parts of your body. And take some time with this. We're going to be using our breath mantra, Hamsa, spelled H-A-M-S-A, Hamsa. This mantra follows your breath. It's the most natural way to focus your mind and enter a calm state. On your in-breath, silently repeat hum. On your out-breath, silently repeat sa. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. And you can silently repeat, I am that essence which lives in unity with all beings. I am that essence which lives in unity with all beings. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. If thoughts should come while you're meditating, just let them come. Don't engage with them. Just observe the thought and then return to your breath and the mantra. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. You can silently repeat after me. I am that essence which embraces all of creation. I am that essence which embraces all of creation. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. And silently repeat to yourself, I am that essence which embodies all of creation. I am that essence which embodies all of creation. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. You can continue in this way and we'll meditate now. Hum on the in-breath, sa on the out-breath. You can bring your awareness back to the room. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. We have two things to share with you before we take questions. Yes, we'll go.
Okay. Today is the 30th and the last in our series of meditations with Engage Therapy and Wellness. And we are extremely grateful to Engage for hosting us all this time. And we're very, very grateful to you for participating in these meditation classes. It's been a joy for us to do them. Yes. And we've decided we'll continue doing it in the new year. So every second Monday, look for a Zoom invite, and we will continue. So Liz has offered to send out the invitation when we have it all set. Our next class will be January 12th, so keep your eyes peeled.
Between now and January 12th, a lot is happening in your life and in the world. Hanukkah is coming. Christmas is coming. Kwanzaa is coming. New Year's Eve is coming. The New Year's Day is coming. A lot is going to be squeezed into that little piece of time. And so we encourage you, we invite you and we encourage you to give yourself a present before you start giving presents away to everybody else. Give yourself the present of meditating every day, even if it's just for a little piece of time. It will help to give you calmness, peacefulness, serenity, energy to deal with all the things that are going to come your way, and hopefully keep you on an even keel. Not only will you give yourself a present, you will then become the best present for everybody that you run into, because you'll be filled with that love and that joy that meditation can give to you, that calmness.
And the presence in the moment that mindfulness can give you.
Yes. So we invite you to do that. We encourage you to do that. And if you need any reminders, there's always the site on Engage Meditation and Wellness where you can go and pick out any of the meditations from the past if you have an hour to spend. And now it's your turn.
Yes.
Does anyone have a question, a comment, an insight, an experience that they'd like to share with us? And please, if you can, voice it, because sometimes people will type it in, but then our noses get this close to the screen and it obliterates everything else except the nose while we try and read this little tiny print. So if you have something to share with us, please go ahead. Oh my, they're all bashful.
Maybe we put them to sleep.
Maybe they are sound asleep.
Well, that's good. They're saving them for the new year. Write them down.
Yes.
We'll be here.
Yes. We're changing things for next year.
Expect some changes, yes.
Yes.
Big changes.
It's going to be fun.
More fun.
Do we want to share the name of the first one with them?
Why, sure. Well, actually, there's a theme in the new year, and it's sorting out the voices in my head. And one of the first voices is from the Pink Panther.
So the first meditation will be focused around the Pink Panther.
Yes.
And we invite you to stay tuned and come on the 12th of January to hear our take on the Pink Panther.
And in the meantime, enjoy the days, the holidays, the solstice, and all the good stuff. Bring your light into the world. The world needs it right now.
Yes. And your love and your patience.
Yes.
Your kindness. Anybody have a last share?
Okay.
In that case, we're done early.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll see you soon. Take care. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Connor.